Alright. What's up, everybody, and welcome back. It's the Chaos match made in heaven. We've seen it many times over the last few months, and we're seeing it again. Dragon Kaiser Gaming's hero, the Protoss Chaos Lord, the man that uses the Select All Army key more than anyone else, didn't even bother scouting this game, because who cares? I'm happy to roll the dice. He's up against Dragon Kaiser Gaming's Dark. They are teammates. I guess it is kind of funny that Dragon Kaiser Gaming is like the chaotic team. Dark in the bottom left, known for his loose build orders. People make fun of them for being inefficient. Myself being one of them. I gotta go, oh no, he's supply blocked again. And then he pulls out the most well-hidden, crisp, beautiful timing attacks and all-ins you've ever seen. And he is a nightmare for Protoss players to play against. So every time I kind of hark on about how there's inefficiency in Dark's builds, I always try to follow it up by reminding you how much of a nightmare it is. If I'm playing Protoss in the Weekly Cup and I see Dark against me, I immediately consider changing race. Even playing a Zerg vs Zerg against a top pro like Dark is often more enjoyable than playing PvZ. It is so hard to figure out what he's doing. Scouting against Dark does not mean what it means against a normal human. The crazy random Baneling attacks that he comes out. You never know when Queen's going to walk. Last time I played him, I picked a build, a map, and a build which I knew would counter Queen Walk. I knew he was going to Queen Walk with Ravagers. Still couldn't stop it. I had Dark Templar killing all of his stuff. He still broke into my natural and killed all my probes. And I was like, I was like, playing Dark is so frustrating. I went single Oracle into Dark Templar. And I was like, this will be fast enough to stop the Queen. And his Queen Walk was so early. I'd never seen a Queen Walk that fast. And I was like, man, he just has this beautiful, beautiful Spidey sense on what builds to pull out and has a real Predator nature. You get the sense that he's done some sort of 300 IQ move when you're playing him. But I'm pretty sure when you talk to him, he'd just be like, oh, I just picked a random build. Just felt like it would work. Like, I don't think he'd have like a deep cerebral explanation of the logical steps of why it would work. I think he just has a good sense, a good feeling for what will work in the heat of it. Let's talk about the game. 4-gate Glaives is on the way, guys. And he's also building a forward pylon. With that, can Hero warp across? Maybe he can squeeze 2 Adepts warped in across that gap at a time. Notice there's no Robo. And without a Robo, you can't be warping it on the front line. So that's why this pylon is so important. Maybe you can even warp a few Adepts across. They will be slow warp-ins there. And he's going to try and secure a third base. Baneling Nest on the way for Dark. Dark wants to play Ling Bane against Glaive Adepts. That's pretty dangerous. Adepts do ruin Zerglings. This is, by the way, the KSL Grand Finals. Best of 5, week number 32. Should have probably mentioned that, guys. Korean StarCraft League. Fair bit of cash on the line. And not many Zerglings or Banelings at home. Those Adepts could go in and do good damage. Looks like he comes in, goes for the probe. And Hero tries to juke it back, not quite able to. Stalker will clean up those Zerglings, though. There was no units at home for Dark. He's going for a very fast lair because he's worried about Dark Templar. But he honestly has nothing to deal with the Adepts other than the Queens. He's lucky those first Adepts didn't YOLO. If they YOLO'd in, he actually would have taken massive damage. Dark Shrine does go down behind this. Dark is already prepared for that. Oh, he's going to commit in. No Banelings ready. Good drone pull so far by Dark. Adepts shading forward. They've only got 1 drone kill. They will take out a Queen. But no, nice transfuse at the last second there. Few Banelings morphing, but only 2 of them. Nice Adept repositioning. 2 of the Adepts get surrounded, but the ones behind the mineral line are doing very nicely. And Dark's mining is so low. He's only on 36 workers versus 45 right now. That being said, Hero was unable to get a third base. But look at that. 3 drone kills go down. And he should just get out of here now. Beautiful choice by Hero. You've done so much damage. You know this guy has so few workers, and you're like, you know what? Let's just make sure I don't die to the counterattack. And that's why a lot of players screw up. Oh, speak of the devil. Hero should have shaded those Adepts out of there, but he's going to get 4 Adepts surrounded. They actually kill a fair few Zerglings. So wedging them up against the edge there does A-okay. These Adepts need to not shade forward. Hero, keep it in your pants. Keep it in your pants, mate. Oh god, Hero's getting... He's clearly being all in by Dark, but he doesn't seem to have registered just yet. He's got to spread against the Banelings. He's got to spread against the Banelings. He does spread a little bit there. The Banelings unable to get the big connection they were looking for, and I think that's a good enough trade. No need to attack right now for Hero, but he says, hey, Adepts beat Zerglings, let's fight. Queens will get on top. The Zerglings get a pretty juicy surround on top of him. Those Adepts are getting taken out. A few of them will shade into the natural. Drones already running away. And I think the units lost tab tells us that with even trading and being up 20 workers, it should be more than good enough for Hero. He sees more and more Zerglings building. Dark has decided to go back to droning right now. And yet there's even more Adepts warping in. Hero has still not started fully transitioning. Yes, he's making charge in +1, but he's still shading Adepts forward. Very dangerous on only 4-gate production. If he gets the next round of Adepts surrounded, he could get counterattacked and killed. It's unlikely, but it's unnecessarily risky. If he keeps threatening and canceling shades, I love this move. If he commits with a shade at all, I absolutely hate it. This is the nature of Hero, dancing on the edge of a garbage, kind of dangerous, aggressive decision where he throws his army away and loses the game. But those times when he looks like he's about to dive and he doesn't, he gets you paranoid. Dark is so freaked out. He was building even more Lings and Banes. Now the Dark Templar are running in. There are Banelings nearby. Hero, careful. There's Banelings in a spore to the left. No spore on the right now. And he does back off. Hero on 60 workers. He's going up to 6 gateways right now. I think he's just going to go for his Zealot Archon timing, potentially. He's still not got that much of a follow-up. But yeah, it looks like with Archons morphing, I guess he's just going to be going for the Archon Zealot attack. Lingbanes suck versus Archons. It looks like the Lair did get cancelled earlier in this game. I was wondering why he didn't have an Overseer. Depth's going up there. Little Baneling run by, getting ready to run into that base. But with a cannon, battery mostly walled off, there's only a single entrance here and here for probes and Banelings to get in and out. Not to mention the Adepts might stumble across this, which would be great for Hero. Repositions them at the last second. Probe coming down. Will get a few seconds warning on those Banelings, but don't think Hero noticed it. Oh, yes, he did. He sees those Banelings out there. Single Archon goes through the boosty zone and says, "Hello, boys. Get away from my probes, you dirty piece of crap." Stalker Archon there as well. It's a lot of Archons. 5 Archons with this 5th one that's morphing at home. There's no Warp Prism. Robo and a 4th base are being built right now. Dark's on 63 drones. I feel like Dark should be beyond dead right now, but it's Dark, and he is one of the few players who actually potentially could bring it back from here. My god, though. He doesn't have that many roaches yet. Oh, the Baneling's going after the Adepts and the Zealots. Oh, not bad hits. Not bad hits. But a few of those Adepts are going to shade past. He doesn't want to really split his units up to defend that, but he has to. And that means the Queens and Roaches on the front are lacking firepower. Great transfusers from Dark. He does push the Archons back. He does lose 5 drones at home. Meanwhile, Zergling Run By gets cleaned up by Zerglings. Zergling Run By gets cleaned up by the Protoss, the Zerglings, I should say. The Zealots, as some call them. For those who don't know, Zealots are called that because they eat Zelos for breakfast. I'll stop. I'm sorry. 12 workers going down. Hero's way ahead. He's got this one in the bag, guys. 73 drones versus 55. Even Hero could not find a way to throw this game from here. Double Forges on the way. He's adding armor and plasma shields rather than +2 attack. That's a fascinating choice, that is. Normally you go +2 attack, then plasma shields. Maybe a misclick on the armor. I mean, it's a quick, cheap upgrade, so not the end of the world. And Plasma Shields, of course, fantastic for those Archons. Mass Roach on the way for Dark off 55 drones. He does have a massive army supply advantage right now. And if he gets enough Roaches to one-shot Archons and Immortals, Hero needs to make sure he doesn't throw any more units away and just does nothing but builds army right now. His army supply is scarily low. It's Archon Immortal. There's shield batteries and cannons. He should be fine. But you know what they say, guys. When Hero and Dark are playing, shoulda, woulda, coulda. Now, if you don't understand that saying, basically that means what should happen never does happen. When you have Dark and Hero playing, this is probably the matchup where I say, oh, it's over, this player wins, and then they end up losing the game more than any other matchup between 2 players. They are both capable of making amazing micro and bringing, games back into their favor after being way behind. They're both also capable of making crazy risky decisions and throwing advantages away. Now, that is not enough Roaches to one-shot an Archon, I don't think. It's close. Oh, he's going to go for that top one. Gets it. Okay, it is just enough to one-shot the Archon. It was already a little damaged. Archon's here with the Prism. The Prism can save them. Oh, big run by on the right side. Roaches coming in. Roaches on the left microing their hearts out. Stalker's trying to whoop, and he's going to recall part of his army. Just a few Archons recalling to that right side. These Archons on the left are getting outnumbered. He's repositioning, but those Immortals intercepting those Roaches on the way home. Dark Templar chasing him off as well. Top base is isolated right now. A lot of Roaches are going down. Bad fight so far for Dark in terms of units cost, but he is taking out the Nexus on the top left. He's going to get an Archon there, but that is not cheap. Loses quite a few Roaches doing it. And also, shout out to Hero for hiding these probes. Very nicely done. Remember that Dark does not have a 4th base. Dark is on 55 workers. And those upgrades, now 1-1-1 for Protoss. Only a matter of time until Hero finds the wherewithal to start those extra upgrades once he stabilizes. For now, it's not a high priority. Just building pylons, making more fighting units. Adding Blink Stalkers is very good because they're flexible. He didn't have Blink yet, but he's about to have that kick in about 5 seconds or so, assuming he's chrono boosting it, which he is. Roaches do escape for now. Dark is in Desperation Town. I feel like Dark becomes one of the most mythical creatures. Mythical fighter. Dark. Down 50 supply for the early game. Down in 20 to 30 workers versus a Protoss player where you're meant to be ahead. He suddenly becomes very hard to kill, and there's almost, I feel like if we could hypnotize Dark and convince him that he's down 15 workers at the start of a Zerg vs Protoss, he would never lose. Because he would just activate this heroic mode where he just never makes mistakes from when he's behind. He makes mistakes to fall behind, but once he's behind, he plays very well. Roach Ravager coming in. Here we go. He's got to isolate this army, but Hero with amazing positioning. And that Prism Micro on the left is so good. One Immortal finally falls. These Immortals are raining down death and destruction on Dark. Oh, he keeps saving these Immortals and the Stalkers as well. These Immortals just won't die. They truly are immortal. An Immortal on its own may not be immortal, but you add Hero's Warp Prism Micro, and that red hit point Immortal was torturing and taunting Dark. I guarantee it, as that Immortal was picked up, let's rewind a few seconds, this red hit point Immortal was going na every time he popped out of that Prism. He only had one kill, but he was absolutely... Yeah, maybe that was it was Nelson. Nelson from The Simpsons died and was reincarnated in an immortal body. GG. All right, rough game one there for Dark. Just was behind from the get-go. I think he really thought it was a Dark Templar opening, and he just stopped a little bit too low on drones. Being on like 36 workers building Spores, Lings, and Banes versus 4 Gate Adept, it's rough, because with a 4 Gate Adept, you have so much money, because you're not spending that money on the early Robo, and it's hard to stop. So Dark says, well, game 2, let's just go immediately for an advantage and take the gold base. Now, Hero is also mining out his side and taking a gold base as well. They're taking gold bases right next to each other. Well, I would say this normally favors the Zerg player, but it really depends. Protoss does have recall, so they can recall probes to get the mining going without losing as much time transferring workers. And Hero does see that base. Man, if Hero had gone Forge, he could have cannon rushed this, and Dark's opening would have sucked. And Dark didn't even check for this. Dark's opening is so incredibly lazy, guys. He sent 2 Overlords on the same path to the left, and he didn't send anything here. So if this was getting cannon rushed, it could literally finish. He'd see 2 cannons about to finish. He'd have already transferred 6 drones. Dark just does not care about risk-taking. The man, I mean, I get it. Hero doesn't cannon rush much. I guess he kind of knows that this is the thing. But if you do this against like a random NA ladder opponent, this hatchery's dying, man. This hatchery's going down for sure. He's immediately making a Roach Horn. He sees no expansion there. He's like, oh, you must have taken the gold. Makes Ling Speed, stays on gas, makes a Roach Horn. It's a Ravager Ling all in. Hero is making a Stargate, which makes no sense. Does it? I don't think a Stargate makes any sense. Not when you're this close to your opponent. Stargates are all about covering distance. Now, don't get me wrong, you can try to get a Void Ray, and a Void Ray beats a Queen, but he can build a Spore in 20 seconds. I'm pretty sure Dark wins this game very easily. I'd love to be wrong. I'd love to learn something. But Stargate is good when there's a lot of distance between the two of you. He can make a second Queen, and then 2 Queens beat a Void Ray and just, like, walk in. And don't get me wrong, you can use battery healing, technically, but I don't really see this making much of a difference. Yeah. I mean, Heroes stopped making probes, which is good, but he needs, like, gateways or something, right? Now he started making probes again. Both sides having a massive bump on their income. It's a shame Hero didn't scout the opponent's gold first. I feel like if he just cannon rushed it and then took a normal base, or cannon rushed into a gold base, would have been a really good move, but Roaches coming in right now. Adepts are terrible versus Roaches, and they can morph into Ravagers to heal themselves as well. There is a Queen here. I like that the Roaches are pulling back. He doesn't have enough energy to heal it. That Oracle probably should have focused down the Roach. Hero needs to pull back to the battery. Does he have battery overcharge available? Guys, he doesn't have battery overcharge available. He needs a tiny bit of energy. Battery overcharge needs to go down right now. It finally does go down. He's got to watch out, though. The Biles and the Zerglings go after it. The Oracle's going to fall. Another Oracle's about to come out. That Oracle can kill one Queen, but I doubt it can kill the other. Probes are fighting with the Adepts. Pretty damn impressive defense by Hero so far. I gotta say, I thought this would be way easier for Dark to take out, but Hero is putting up an impressive defense with Probes, Adepts, Battery, and 2, and a single Oracle, now a second Oracle. There's only one Queen left. They are still walking in. There's creep right there. I don't know if he holds on still because the rally is so fearsome for Dark, and he doesn't really have a lot of staying power. Those Adepts shading forward, a derpy move there, and he does take a Ravager Bile on the face of that Stalker. 2 Stalkers, a pack of probes, and an Oracle that's out of juice. And 2 Queens on the front. One of those he walked from the main base. You might be wondering, how does he have 2 more Queens? He already lost 2. He walked the Queen from his main base, and that gives him the critical mass of Queens to beat the Oracles in the fight. It's actually a genius decision. 5 seconds till battery overcharges left, but the Stalkers are going to go down just before he gets to it. Oh, this whole defense was predicated on you getting to the second overcharge, but he's only just got to it now. He can defend with that overcharge if those Stalkers stay there. He's forgotten about it. He doesn't realize he has overcharge. Hero! This whole defense is about surviving till the second overcharge. He's got to it, but he didn't realize that he got to it. Oh, he could have, if he got those 2 Stalkers, kept them alive for 5 seconds longer, got the overcharge, he'd have 4 Stalkers and a pack of probes, ruining this push. I thought Hero held. He was so close to holding. Well, his Oracle goes in and says, I'm going to counterattack and ruin your tiny economy, get you down to 15, 14 workers, which is not too bad. The problem is you're losing all your production. You're on 1 base. So he's like, okay, I'm going to do a 4-gate now. I think you've lost too much army here. And I think Dark can recover on the drones. But yeah, that second overcharge actually could have saved the day, surprisingly enough. There's a battery at the ramp, which is hilarious. I love the Adept counterattack. If these guys get in the main and kill like 6 workers, Dark's economy kind of sucks, man. Overlord's going to see it, though. Overlord's going to see it. Those Lings need to run home right now. Dark, his Lings see it. They're going to A-move home. They're like, oh, crap, there's Adepts coming, man. These Adepts do not have long. Oracle's going to come in along with 3 Adepts. The Lings are going to be here in about 5 seconds. He's got to focus down. He's trying to take out the Queen. Oh, that's a cute maneuver. But losing these Adepts is a costly move. He's got to get into the gap. Get into the gap. Nice Adept micro so far. Does limit the surface area from those Zerglings. And he's killed 5 drones in total this game. Not quite as many as he would probably like. Needs to just wedge himself in that corner, I think. We'll try to shade home. Ravagers actually take down one of the pylons back here. Dark using the range advantage of those Ravagers very nicely. Adepts are not really the unit you want here. You need Stalkers. He's trying to make Glaives right now. He needs Stalkers to fight against this. They will outrange it. The Oracle coming home could also be great. He's only got 1 Oracle alive. If he had a second one, imagine how useful that would be. But look at this. Dark with the crisp, aggressive momentum is going to get in on top. Biles the Stalkers down! Nice aggression for Dark. I told you this game would be a hot mess. It would be unpredictable. It would be chaotic. And that was a very fun one. I can't believe Hero actually almost pulled that defense off. But at the end, Dark too strong. All right, going into game 3 after that barn burner. Dark in the bottom left side. Hero getting in his mineral line being annoying. And Dark says, can you leave, mate? For those who don't know, Protoss players were pretty much never taught the difference between that's not your property. You know, this is literally the kid that comes over to your house, you know, some family friend. You don't even want him there, but your mum's like, playing with Jimmy. And Jimmy comes in and starts licking all of your toys. And you're like, Mom, he's licking my toys. She's like, be nice and share. And I'm like, he's licking all of my Lego. What the hell? Mom. Yeah. That's, I mean, Hero has stated his goal in StarCraft is to annoy his opponent with harassment. You know when they come in as well, and then like they've like dismantled your Lego. You had like a whole bunch. Yeah, like I had my fighter plane that I built. I had my like my base. I had like this guy with a laser gun. They just like ripped it apart and started building different things. And you're like, I'm gonna go. I did that once actually. I think I did that to like a relative in Germany or something. I vaguely remember. I was like real little, and I was like, oh, she crying. I think I did a naughty. Sorry, distant fourth cousin or whatever our relation was. I apologize for breaking your Lego. GG. Drone hitting the probe there. Probe, try. Are we going to commit? Oh, he's actually committing to the pylon block. Adept needs to do another shade to get down here to confirm. Oh, he's going to shade to the left one, though, seeing that there's no Zerglings going for it. Because there was only 2 Zerglings got built here by Dark. Oh, but he does get the 3rd down just barely before the Adept blocked it. Sorry, I assumed that was going to be blocked, so I wasn't even looking at it. Because I wanted to check if the Zergling scout came in. My bad on the observing there. Adept's going to shade into the main base, and he's going to commit. Only 2 Lings. Hero wants to punish it. Oh, I can't believe he managed to get that shot on that drone. Managed to get the 2nd shot on it. Nice spore trick there for Dark. Good save on the 2nd one, but a very greedy opening for Dark does get punished. And definitely, you know, building 2 Zerglings is considered to be extremely greedy. And that is the reason why. There are now 2 Adepts on the front. They're going to shade in. The Zergling gets a scout on the Oracle that will be coming across the map, but it already feels like Hero might be causing enough chaos here Oh my god, if he can shade this, get that Adept away as well. He's still got an Adept in the back. The Oracle's going to be here in a few seconds. He's only got 3 queens. He did accidentally he let the Spore Crawler finish up top. But look at this Adept. It's forcing so much damage right now. 3 drones going down. Here comes the Oracle. There's only 1 queen there. The other queen was spreading creep. Oh, this is a disaster for Dark. Just thinking he could get away with only 2 Zerglings against someone who was chrono boosting Adepts across the map. Exceptional greed from Dark gets punished super duper hard. 3rd base goes down for Hero. 2nd Oracle is there to defend it. And that is a nice clean defense for Mr. Hero after some amazing aggression. He's got a 3rd Oracle on the way. Dark is still down 7 workers. Now, I always say, what is the sort of benchmark you can look at in this matchup between pros? Is about 40 workers is where Zerg is meant to overtake Protoss in workers. Normally, Protoss is just a little ahead up to that point. At this point, though, it feels like Dark is not really anywhere near overtaking, and it's going to be closer to 50 workers when he gets the lead. So definitely a very nice momentum advantage. Another Overlord goes down. This Overlord, all it's going to do is, it's not even going to unsupply block him. He needs to build like 4 more Overlords right now, does Dark, but he hasn't realized that fact. He builds 1. He needs to build 4. Okay, now he builds a 2nd one. This is really, really bad start for Dark. Hero all over him right now. Last time I played Hero in a weekly cup, I lost to that first Oracle after the 2 Adepts. So I've felt the viciousness of his Oracle Adept pressure firsthand. If you give him an inch, he'll take a mile. Hero is a disgustingly savage Protoss player when it comes to his opening Oracle Adept pressure. He's also very good at rotating between different angles. I feel like some Protoss players, they always want to dive the Oracles in on a certain angle. It becomes a bit predictable. Hero is unpredictability personified. He will always hit a different angle. He'll rotate between bases, and he'll kind of almost shimmy your queens into moving into the wrong position and then change direction and dive back and actually find the weak spot. Zergling gets a probe, not bad. A little bit of counter damage. 5 Adepts, 3 Oracles on the front. Going to clear a little bit of the creep spread. There aren't that many Zerglings. 6 Queens, 7 Zerglings. Not enough to defend. But keep in mind, the Oracles are very low. Oh, you see what he's doing with the Oracles? He doesn't end up committing this time. He doesn't quite find an opening. Does do a stasis trap behind the mineral line. Needs to get out of there. Overstayed his welcome. Only freezes 2 drones. Loses an Oracle for it. Very good defense for Dark, considering he did not really have the numbers to hold on there. Blink is on the way, as well as 6 gateways, pumping in those Stalkers. No Forge. This tells us it's going to be, I'm going to finish you off with Blink Stalkers. I feel I'm ahead. I'm going to come across with Blink Stalkers and try to win. Unfortunately for Hero, he does hit a supply block here, but he's spending all of his money. Interestingly, he's making a battery and a Forge now. I still feel he will commit to the aggression, but Hero took a big gap in probe production, delayed his Forge a long time. His stasis traps are being really well defended. He's about to lose another Oracle. Hero going from a fantastic start to Dark now defending very well. He's got the worker advantage. He's got a pack of Lings out. He's making roaches, roach speed melee. 4th hatchery is almost certainly going to die to this Blink Stalker timing attack. The more important thing for Dark is just build Overlords, build Roaches, Ravagers, Lings, and survive. He's got to pull these Overlords back. Any Overlords going down is a disaster for him. Heroes on the front with 13 Blink Stalkers and 1 Oracle. A lot of creep there coming in from all sides. That is going to be hard to push forward on for Hero. He's trying to build more Oracles as we speak. The Zerglings, of course, something he needs to micro very well against. I like the stutter step mixed in with blinking back. The weak Stalkers from the front to the rear. Ooh. Adepts there. Getting caught out. Stalkers trying to hang. Can they start teleporting back? Battery building on the front line. Hero going absolute mad dog right now. That is an overcommitment, I believe. I don't really agree with the battery here. He might be able to win with this. He had such a great start. He's very similar army supply, which is bad for the Zerg. Focuses down a Ravager. Blinks back and dodges most of the Biles. Dark is trying to chase him down, but those Oracles make it very dangerous to do so. You gotta be really careful. Lands a big Bile in the midst of the Stalkers. Dude, this game's getting really weird. There's only 6 gateways up. Hero's building 2 gates on the front. I feel like Hero could just take a 4th, make a robo, you know, and get so far ahead right now. Instead, he's going to try and kill Dark. And as always, I'm always there going, man, there seems to be a safer option. And Hero just laughs and says, safer options are for pussies. I'm not I'm not a coward. Sorry, we were just watching a cat video just before. So for those watching on YouTube down the line, don't worry. It's all fine. We all love a good pussycat. Nice antiquated term there. Biles there starting to push the Stalkers back. Units lost time is pretty close to even. This choke point not doing Hero any favors. The Blink Stalker micro is being good. But I don't think this is going to be a finishing blow. And there's now 2 forges up, but Hero hasn't used either of them. He's taken 2 gases, hasn't used them. He's only putting workers on the gases now. Now he starts a 4th base. Hero's transition is slow and awkward. He's not really getting that much damage done with the Stalkers anymore. He hasn't killed the 4th base yet, so he has to keep warping in. He needs more damage than this for how much he's committed. Dark chasing him down, but you got to be careful about chasing down that ramp, man. Especially with these gateways on the front as well. +2 melees on the way, roaches, lings. He's on mass stalker, which is a very good defensive composition. It's only good on the offense if you have the critical mass to really overwhelm your opponent. But look at Dark's Ravager count. The Bile's very good at zoning the units out. If he can start getting these Biles a little further forward to really make it hard for Hero to even move in range of the hatchery, then that would be amazing. He sent a massive Ling attack around the left. I think this is a really good idea because we know Hero F2s doesn't leave any units in his wall. This is very regularly a checkmate against Hero in these scenarios. And oh my god, of course, oh my god, this is such a dumb way to lose. He's making air weapons and Stargates right now. Hero leaves his door open. A massive Zerglings gets into his base. He does warp in Zealots. But dude, Hero, oh, it was such a classic mistake. Probes in the battery defending at the 3rd. And you know what? Quick recall, he only loses a few Stalkers, but he loses a lot of Stalkers on the front at the same time. He's lost 18 Stalkers. He loses 2 of his only 8 gateways. He's making carriers right now, the Mad Dog. Now, did Dark see that? Dark did not see the carrier production, the fleet beacon and the 2 Stargates in the back. If he knew about that, he'd go and attack right now. But he doesn't know about, or he'd build a Spire for Corruptors. But he doesn't know, so these surprise carriers could work. Hero is doing such a weird way of trying to get the finishing blow. You can tell he just doesn't want to get stuck in a brawl with Dark. He's like, I just want to kill you with the advantage I have. Goes for the Stalkers, kind of messes up on the execution a little bit, I would say, with the Stalker aggression in that he didn't have the gateway count. He was only on 6 gates until he built the gates on the front, which is just not enough to kill someone with the 3-base timing. And he also was supply blocked leading into it, which is why Hero's attack timing didn't work as well as he thought. He also could have killed the 4th base rather than trying to force his way up the narrow ramp, and I think that would have netted a 4th base kill. Now, Dark's still in a bad spot because he was, remember, pretty far behind from the early game. Units lost tab is still pretty close to even, but he's actually been kind of down or even on workers for most of this game. And he's going in Infestation Pit, trying to take a 5th base. He's going to try and attack here. He will get rid of the +1 air weapons, and most importantly, he'll see the carriers. So he's just going to run away right now. Does land 2 Biles on a carrier. The Dark Special trying to bile down carriers. Oh my god, he almost gets one. His Lings ran in the right side in order to distract Hero. That's why that move almost worked. That's the classic distraction from Dark into, oh, not again, Hero. Okay, he barely dodges that one. Good moves by Hero. The carriers will deflect on the left. He keeps his 4th base alive on the right, only loses 2 more probes. Dark is making a Spire. He's also making a Hive right now. Vipers and Corruptors can counter these pretty well. Vipers also will deal with the Void Rays. Hero realizes, okay, I've already got some carriers. He's going to go Corruptors. Let's go push right now with Stalker Carrier. He should have the numbers to finish the game, but with only +1 attack. Remember, he built 2 Forges, and he only made 1 upgrade in 5 minutes. Hero being indecisive in terms of his tech choices, but the carriers are enough of a trick here, enough of a surprise. That could be a problem. Hero's carrier almost dying in the top. He's got 2 more carriers about to arrive. His Stalkers are getting overrun right now. Dark try to pile down the carriers still. The Queens burrow there. I don't know if that was on purpose or not. The Queens go after that carrier. Biles landing on this carrier as well. Hero's going to lose the carrier. Of course he does. He flies it back in. The Queen's kill it. The Stalkers re-engaging on the right side. This is a disaster of a game, but I think it's the disaster that Hero's kind of coming out on top of. He basically tackled Dark down a mountain. They have rolled down the mountain together, but Hero has a smile on his face. Dark was not expecting this. Hero was, and I think Hero's whole plan is as long as I land on top at the bottom of the mountain, I can strangle him out, you know. We're both going to be bruised, battered, have a bunch of broken bones. Yes, that is my shin sticking out of my leg. You can see my shin bone. Doesn't matter because my name's Hero and I enjoy pain. Dark stuck on Ravager Corruptorling right now. To be fair, Hero's economy is not amazing. He's still only on 6 gateways. He's making a 7th gate, rebuilding his Cybercore. He doesn't have any air weapon upgrades, which is actually massive. That snipe on the Cybercore is really quite huge. Corruptors have been spotted now. The 2 Oracles coming home. Ling run by goes in, has to go out. Yeah, I think Storm wrecks Ravages, Lings, and it does well versus Corruptors, so I think the Templar Archive is a very wise choice. He's going Archons for now. Hasn't really made too much else. But remember, he's going up to 8 gateways only. +3 melees on the way. Adrenal glands. Air weapons. Carapace is very powerful on Corruptors. Dark is going for firepower. Armor is for the weak. You can see, I said shin bone. Shin. Like shin ramen. Ooh, Void Ray Archon Carrier. Corruptors almost get a Void Ray. Mass Ravager attack. This right side base should be safe from the Zerglings. There's plenty of static there. Biles do zone out a few of the carriers. Oh, the Archon's going to take a few hits, but not too many. Zealot Archon here, very scary for Ravagerling to fight into. He killed every probe on this base, and he gets in the main as well, though. In this case, it wasn't necessarily Hero leaving the wall open. It was obviously he just broke the wall in half. Battery overcharge, a few Zealot Warpins. Nice save at the 11th hour there. Hero's going to counterattack yet again. The opportunistic Hero counter shove, his famous move. He's got 6 carriers, 3 Void Rays. There's only 10 Corruptors on the map. Dark is stuck between a rock and a Protoss place. He biles a carrier out of the sky. Or a Void Ray, sorry. 2 carriers go down. The carriers are getting wrecked. But unfortunately, he's losing the ground fight to the Stalker Archon. He's trying to drop Biles, but he's already lost most of his Ravagers. The Corruptors will win the air battle on the right side of our screen. There are still burrowed lings on the other side. I'd love to see him unburrow those in the midst of this. But drones on their own cannot fight this. 13 Roaches trying to build. The lings do unburrow in the main and the natural. They're going to do massive damage. Corruptors are going to go across the map to do some Pee-wee onto the enemy base, guys. Remember, when in doubt, unzip that fly and drown your opponent's cries out. That's what he's going for. The wee going in on that third base. There's a carrier and some stalkers to defend it, though. Hero is handling that one okay. He's still got 2 bases, his 3rd and 4th mining. Meanwhile, Dark's whole economy is going down. He's just struggling to get enough Roaches up to defend. He finally defends the top side, gets a few units out there. Bit of wee going on the right side, trying to take that Nexus out. The main and the natural are finally getting cleaned up. I'm not sure if that Nexus will die. You can track its hit points in the bottom side. The Nexus falls in the natural. But I think this army is just finding too much damage. There's finally 17 Roaches out, but they're burrowed and scattered across all these bases. They're hiding everywhere. Dark is trying to save his hive right now. There's a single Void Ray there that's being such a nuisance. He loses his only queen that was right there. He's got more queens nearby that are burrowed. Corruptors coming in to deal with the Void Ray, but it's already done a good bit of damage. Roaches on burrow on the left, start dealing with those Zealots. Corruptors do take it out, but they've taken a lot. Corruptors on the right side were unable to pee down the Nexus over there. This is a fantastic game right now. But Hero snipes the hive, blinks to the low ground, starts focusing Roaches and drones. He's going to lose all these units. Dark will defend, but he's lost his hive. He does have a Roach Warren, a Spawning Pool, a Spire. He can still make all the units he's been making. He's got a base there, and a base there. 2 freshies, including one with 4 gold minerals. Hero has 2 freshies. Well, actually, no, that one's half mined out. This one's almost half mined out, and he lost his natural. Don't tell me Dark is going to come back and win this game. There's a single carrier, 3 Archons, 9 Stalkers. I mean, Archons are the big thing that I think gives Hero the advantage, because you can't really leverage your gas into extra power. Turning a Roach into a Ravager gives it a little bit of range, 25 less hit points. Same damage output overall. I think it shoots a little fast. It does shoot a little. It's a bit more damage, a bit more range than the Corrosive Pile. It's nothing like being able to make an Archon, which is just a great fighting unit in of itself. So Hero is able to leverage both his gas and his minerals for a stronger raw fighting army. If there was Lurkers or Broodlords, they could counter those. But Dark does not have that tech. He's just got Roach Ravager, only a couple Corruptors, and that's a scary army for Hero. If Hero let this base mine for another minute, I have no doubts that Dark would get himself a nice lead. Transfuses on the Corruptor are actually really nice there, but it looks like it will fall. Man, it's enough Roach Ravager, though. It's enough Roach Ravager. Fungal plus Bile on the carrier. It's down to 95 hit points. The Queen's doing quite a lot of damage. He biles the carrier down. Oh my god, but he's lost 18 drones in this fight, and as the Archons rally in, remember, I said those Archons would be the difference maker, and you can see why they're just such big meat sacks. Great splash damage versus the Lings and the drones. The Stalkers are going to blink forward. It is exactly what we wish for every time we see Dark and Hero play StarCraft. 2 men who aren't afraid of getting involved in a scrappy mud wrestling match, where at this point, they are covered head to toe in mud. They look like Arnie when he's about to ambush the Predator. You know, he's sitting in that bloody muddy swamp. He's got log traps around him and stuff. And in this case, both of them are doing that. And they've both landed log traps on each other successfully and broken a lot of bones. They are both wounded. They are both bleeding, breathing heavy. And it looks like, man, Dark's getting even more damage here. His economy is really low still. I just don't think he has the numbers. He has to pull the drones to fight again. The Queens of the Transfusers trying to hang on. The +2 on these Stalkers Archons, the single Immortal as well, really helping out. With a Warp Prism on the front, that's going to be it. Hero is the one who lands the last hit. Dark presses the self-detonate on his little nuclear armband, and Hero runs off and jumps over a hill as the explosion happens behind him. GG, well played. Hero up 2-1. All right. Hero with a nice win there after a fantastic start. Probably made that game about as hard for himself as he possibly could, but that's what makes it exciting. Dark with an almost comeback from way behind. Now, this was a 13 pylon from Hero. Puts the pylon down a little bit early because it takes a while to get across Site Delta and block the expansion. Drone's going to move out. Whoa! What are you doing, mate? Oh, he's trying to get his natural up. Oh, this is a bad build order, Dark. This is a real bad build order, man. Oh, it's like a 1:03 hatchery? A 1:02. I mean, he's going to hatchery block, but you can tell Dark only did this in reaction to the 13 pylon because this is not particularly well timed. He's basically banking on that probe going in to scout the main, which Hero has not done yet. Hero's going to experience the hatchery block. Now, are we going to pull probes? Oh, he's pulling a lot of probes. That's a lot of mining time. I think it's worth potentially even building the evolution chamber here. Now, you can see they will lower its hit points. He's going to go 7 probes. This is a crazy amount of minerals Hero is spending right now. Notice he needs to only leave 1 worker on gas in this scenario. The reason you leave on gas is just so you can make a single adept straight away. The pool and the gas are incredibly late for Dark. Obviously, this is a very slowed down opening. He doesn't go for the Evo chamber block. I think you realize in this scenario, he pulled so many probes, he doesn't have 400 minerals, and he was not going to have 400 minerals. He's also building a forge. He's going to cannon rush. This map's not even good for cannon rush, I don't think, is it? I guess you can 2 pylon wall here, but... No, this is a terrible cannon rush position. Is Hero drunk? Wait, Dark's not reacting. Dark doesn't think it's real. Dark thinks it's a fake out. Dark, he's not respecting it. He thinks it's a fake out. Why are you not pulling drones, mate? Hero's gonna actually just straight up build a ton of cannons. He can even pull drones now and still surround these cannons and kill them. Dark is massively underreacting. Holy crap, this is such a bad cannon rush from Hero. Hero's actually just thinking of some drunk stuff. It's so bad. Dark didn't think it was real, so he just didn't react. And now he's just giving up his hatchery. Now, to be fair, it's not the end of the world, but the Spine Crawler is useless. Spine Crawler doesn't do anything against this. It's a complete waste of money. There's an adept here. And, okay, he rebuilt. Why are you rebuilding a hatchery on the other side of the map? That makes no sense. There's no reason to build a hatchery on the other side of the map right now. Hero's also gas stealing, so he can't even go for Ravagers. Not that he was planning to. This game is an absolute disaster. Printf would be vomiting on his shoes watching the decision-making from these two. This is absolute mind games at its finest. I love it. It's a disaster. The hatchery's going to go down. He's going to focus the hatchery and then focus the Zergans and Queens. The Adept's going to try and shade into that main base. Building cannon easily shuts this Nexus down. There's a Stargate on the way. It's 1 base versus 1 base, but you got your Stargate finished. And actually, you've got an expansion. Zerg doesn't. So it's 2 base versus 1 base. Really poor decision-making from Dark, guys. He could have very easily just pulled drones and defended this and been way ahead. Even if he just pulled like 2 drones initially when he saw the pylon, it would have been perfectly fine. Building the hatchery was a massive waste of time as well, because Hero is happy to just build a single cannon, which is a much cheaper expense, go for Stargate, go for Oracle, and go for Adept Pressure. He's miles ahead. And I gotta say, Hero's Cannon Rush was not a good build on paper, but Dark just underestimated it, and I think he's had his brain broken by that. That was such a disaster of an opening. Oh, Link Speed's here. Link Speed's here, though. You don't want to throw these Adepts away. You do not want to lose those Adepts. Oh, he's not recalling? He's just leaving him out in the open. Hero is a mad dog, man. Gonna lose one of these Adepts, maybe 2. Oh, there's more Adepts coming forward. He's actually gonna fight this. Okay, wow. Interesting. Gonna lose a lot of these Adepts, but the Lings need to focus that top Adept. There we go, they do take it down. Every single Adept goes down, except... Oh, actually, 1 got away on 2 hit points. Oracle's coming in, there are 3 Queens available. They should be able to defend this pretty well if they get in position, but he's attacking the rocks, that's a mistake. Okay, he does correct it. 2 drones going down, 3 drones, very nice wave there. Remember, Hero's Nexus is almost finished, so it's gonna be finished at the same time as the natural. And the third base is coming up for Dark, so he could bounce back from this, but he's really got to make sure he takes minimal damage in the follow-up. Phoenix will start killing the Overlords. We've got a Forge with +1 on the way. Of course, the Forge was already down from earlier, so he's just kind of adjusted his build and said, might as well use it. Hero is up 6 workers right now. He's building a second Phoenix. Not sure what that's about. Hero's decided to play a Phoenix. I guess he's going to pick up the Queens. Potentially he goes to pick up 2 Queens and then use the Oracles to kill the other Queens. Very, very weird build order. This is awesome, man. Robo Twilight coming in behind this. So Hero's going to swap to a more classic ground play. He is taking a long time to secure a third base. That's the one thing I'm a little bit, not as keen on for Hero's follow-up. Dark is very supply blocked, though, here in a game where he cannot be affording this. He needs to be doing nothing but droning. He's pulled off gas. He's starting his melee upgrade right now, trying to make use of the gas that he'd already mined. All right. Oracle's here, clean up a few creep tumors. He's going to try and rotate around to the right side. Charge and +1 is on the way, as well as Templar Archives. It looks like a 2-base Zealot Archon timing out of Hero. As long as you got a Roach Warren and a bunch of Roaches, you can defend that. But Melee tells us that Dark is focused on Zerglings to get back in this game. And if there was a fast third from Hero, I'd be a bit more down with it. But in this scenario, if he doesn't start a Roach Warren this second, I think he might just die. Because you know that Prism's flying across. He's warping in Archons and Zealots on the front. He's going to go for the win. Maybe just 2 more pylons would be good. I guess he's still building gateways, actually. Yeah, maybe he does it like Archon harassment before going for the actual Zealot warp-ins. Lair and 7 more drones is on the way. Second gas goes down. Dark's back up to a good mineral income. If he was pumping Roaches right now, I'd believe. Because I really feel Hero's play lacks flexibility, being stuck on 2 base for so long. So even though it's a strong +1 Zealot Archon timing, that's something where a 50 drone Zerg massing Roaches can deal with it. But Dark just hasn't been scouting. He's been so busy trying to survive. He has a single Zergling. He sees a Warp Prism coming. You can see now he's building the Roach Warren. But in my mind, you're up against a 2-base player. You should always have a safety Roach Warren against a Protoss that is not taking a third. They take a quick third, then cutting the corner in the Roach Warren makes sense. But in this scenario, it feels like an incredibly risky decision Dark felt he needed to make because he was behind. And now he's massing Overlords. He's making a ton of Zerglings. Roach Warren, he needs to go mass Roach as soon as that's done. But he's going to have to wait for this next Lava Inject to finish. Stasis Trap only gets a single drone there. The Zealot Archon massing on the front. It's not the best push for Hero. If the Roaches were out, I actually really feel this would not work. He's taking a third behind it. Mass Ling, though. Lings are terrible versus Archons and Zealots. Oracle does go down. Nice defense. He's got a Spinecrawler on the right. That's really going to help that Spinecrawler. Queen's there. 12, 14 Roaches building. Dark is like, please just give me 20 seconds to get these Roaches together. Give me 20, 30 seconds and I can defend this. Hero is going to go in a moment, though. A lot of Archon Zealot. He's not probing. He's down 10 workers. Dark is getting his Roaches out. They need to be careful about rallying through the open. If he gets any of those surrounded, they will suffer. Uh-oh, here we go. Big attack on the right side. The Zealot Archon, or Ling Roach, sorry, and Queen coming from the left. The Roach is getting jumped on by those Zealots. Those Roaches on the right are getting hammered by the Archons dropping on top of them. Not having Roach speed makes it so hard. Transfuses on the spine are a little bit slow. One of them goes down. The Archons refuse to die. The Zealots doing such a good job of tanking for them. Roaches retreating to that little corridor up there, getting hammered by the Zealot Archon. The Archon can chase them into that corridor at least a little bit. The Archon's still doing pretty well. One of the Archons goes down. The Archon's starting to fall. Oh, man. If he cannot lose any more workers, this is going to be great for Dark. But, oh, the Prism survives on 5 hit points. That Queen not able to complete it. If that Archon just one-taps all those Overlords, it'd be a great way to do this on the way out. Dark survives like the legend he is. Even with the late Roach production, he finds a way to hang on. 2 Archons, a few Zealots, and, of course, that Warp Prism still alive. Hero has a worker advantage. He's up 8 workers. He's only making Zealot Archon, which is not the best long-term tech, but he does have a Robo up, so he can start Immortals. He's got the Prism for harassment. His Archons can keep looking for damage here, using their shields. One of those Archons you can see is very low on shields. Notice that there is a graphic. It shows you the number of lines to give you an idea of how much shields is actually on that unit. There's only 1 line on that Archon on the right, but you can see the second line starting to become visually appearable. That is because they're regenerating the shields right now, so... Nice graphical design in StarCraft 2. Little things that are kind of obvious. You kind of understand what things mean without really knowing. You know, you don't need to have it explained to you. That's what's so great about the details in this game. 8 more drones are on the way. A few more roaches and lings. Roach speed is here. +1 range is on the way as well. Uh-oh. Good pickup. Interesting, though. The Immortals have only just started. Second Forge is on the way. Actually, no, that's the second Immortal. Second Forge is on the way. It's interesting to see Hero getting so many more armor upgrades recently. I think armor's a great ability. Really good for your Zealots versus Zerglings. Makes them much stronger. It's cheap. It upgrades fast. It's one of the more underutilized upgrades for most Protoss players. I know Max isn't a fan. Files coming down. Big Zealot Archon attack. I thought this was a fake, but Hero realizes there's just not that many roaches. He's actually going to commit in right now. Wow. Wow. Oh, +1 just not quite done for the roaches. They need that +1 upgrade. The Zealot count's thinning out, but there is an Immortal there and a Prism canceling the 4th base, killing 3 drones. Great attack for Hero. And he says, yeah, I'm happy to trade like that. I mean, I'm trading cost efficiently. I'm denying your bases. I'm keeping the work count even. And guys, once again, he's not going for +2 attack. This is a new thing Hero's been doing, where he's going plasma shields and armor rather than attack. Armor is fantastic versus Zerglings for Zealots, so it's good in run-by scenarios. But against Roaches, against Banelings, and in general, attack is always better. +2 attack also allows your Archon Splash to do devastating damage. Your Immortals get +5 versus Roaches. The Zealots, I guess the Zealot versus Zergling interaction doesn't matter, but Zealot versus Roach does get massively improved from attack upgrades. It's an odd choice that Hero is making to make his units tankier. I'm curious to see if he sticks with this. I would definitely, I've always said +2 attack is super important, then start adding plasma shields, and I would still probably go +3 attack before armor every game. I have crunched the numbers on this in years past, and usually attack is the more valuable to kill your opponent's units before they even get damage off, but second Stargate and a Fleet Beacon on the way. He wants to go for that super quick Skytoss transition off of a 4th base here. Dark's making Ravagerling Bane, which is a great defensive army. Now with Hero committing like this, well, oh, nice save on the Prism. Hero has to be cautious during this period. He's got a Robo Bay coming in as well. But Dark is going to have a massive 64 drone Ravagerling Bane timing. Going to be transferring drones off these bases. Since obviously it's so deep in the game, the main's mining out, the natural's mining out. Dark is going to have to start transferring workers to the 4th base. Looks like he's going to stay on a low worker count. He doesn't have a 5th, which means he's just saying, yep, max Ravager Bane, +2 melee, as well as Baneling speed, and then I'm going to try and kill you. And it's just going to be surviving for Hero while getting carriers up. Can he do that? Who knows? First carriers are on the way. There's one in the natural wall, one here. He has not made +1 air weapons, and that is a very important upgrade for an air transition. Archon drop scouting very well, and single disruptor starting up behind all this. Lottling Bane over there on the top. A few Zerglings on the bottom. Cannons, Stalkers, Archons. It's a beautiful spread. It feels like Dark, the longer he spends on this army, the more he is just crossing his fingers that Hero overextends and attacks into him. I was talking for a while about how Hero is famous for getting ahead and then throwing leads by attacking against a guy who's just sitting on Ravager Bane. He's not making that mistake this time. Hero is being very dedicated on the defense. He's falling back. Yes, he's having his wall breached a little bit here, but the rest of the army's coming down to reinforce. He's not going to lose this base, I don't think, unless Dark really commits to focusing it down, but that's going to be an expensive move. Gets a few probes. He breached the natural wall for a moment, but the cannon ended up holding there. And with carriers now out, a Colossus being mixed in as well. That's very bad. Dark has a Spire on the way, but he's got next to no money. Only 58 drones now. Looks like maybe some Zealots got in there and did a bunch of damage as well. Hero's got +2 armor. Those are 3 armor Zealots, which means the Zerglings do terribly versus them, guys. They're only doing 4 damage a hit. 3rd and 4th carriers starting up. Infestation bits on the way. He's building Queens right now, is Dark. But he's not droning. He's not taking a 5th. He really wants Hero to get over-eager, and this is it. Whenever I criticize Hero for like a week or 2 or 3 about being over-aggressive, he always kind of shows that adjustment. And it doesn't matter what the matchup is. In PvT versus Maru, there's games where he gets over-aggressive and he throws advantage after advantage for a week or 2. And then the week after that, it's like he gets ahead. You see Maru adopt a really turtley stance, or in this case, Dark adopt a really turtley stance. And Hero just like macros up, takes 5 bases, makes high-tech units, and wins the game. Ow, 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 he's not looking. He just pulled his army away. Baneling's taking some big juicy hits, 9 probes going down. Good trade for Dark. Dark needs better than good trades right now, though. He's going Infestor Ravager. Oh my god, he's going for the Hail Mary play, guys. He's literally planning to simply fungal the carriers in place and kill them with Bile. Even killing the ground army is going to be so hard for him. He's going for the gamble of all gambles. He is basically trying to defend his opponent's air force with like a couple of Stinger missiles and throwing some rocks at them as they're taking off. It's not a very good technique, but he's desperate. He doesn't have a lot of money. He's got to make an efficient hold. The Disruptor shot's coming forward. Great spreadies. Only a few Ravagers going down. Microbial Shroud goes down as well to try and reduce that damage. There's just too many Archons on the ground. The Archons and the Stalkers themselves are going to push through. Dark cannot hold on. And that all came back to that early game where Hero did one of the strangest cannon rushes I've seen in a while. And Dark simply underreacted. He under-respected it. And then he also counter-proxy hatched for a second time against a guy who's already got a Forge, where it's a very easy answer to simply build a cannon, keep teching up for Hero, got way ahead, and he crushes that series 3-1. A very fun series, lots of crazy games, but Hero coming out on top once again.